Welcome back to Deep Within. I'm JG.
I'm Truth the Motivator.
In this episode, we'll be diving into relationships, understanding the different types, how to maintain them,
The different sacrifices that you have to do to maintain them, and also having some type of self awareness to look at yourself before you judge the other person.
So sit back and relax.
And enjoy the show. Welcome back to our second topic of today is relationships, is family and friends. I'm Truth the Motivator.
And I'm JG.
So when we talk about as friends and family, right? This is one of the toughest topics to talk about because when you have a good relationship with your friends and you have a good relationship with your family, everything is all smooth. When it goes south, it goes south. So how do you maintain a good balance with your friends? Let's start with friends first. What is a good maintaining balance with friends?
Boundaries, bro.
Okay. Okay. That's a good way to start.
Friends can be a cornerstone for a healthy life,
That is a good way to put it.
but they can also burn them off down.
So what you're telling me right now is that the people that I gravitate to, people that gravitates towards me, the people that I let inside my circle is who I am in a sense, right? So people should be able to look at my friends and tell who I am.
No.
Okay.
So there's a lot of people that have that saying, tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who
And that's why I was asking.
I disagree with that.
Okay.
Because you can still be a friend to somebody you're not influenced by.
Oof. That's a tough one. That is interesting right there.
I've grown up with people who's done all types of things, people who were in a gang,
Yep.
people who's done drugs in front of me.
Yep.
I've never done those. I've never been in part of a gang. So their actions did not influence my behavior. And I was not affected because of their life choices. Now, when people say it's like, well, do you influence them? I've talked, I will we'll be friends. And I will say, hey, I wouldn't advise X, Y, and Z for a good friend of mine who ended up going downhill because of drugs. But they, at the end of it all, they make their own decisions. But that doesn't mean that I have to cut them off because they have that lifestyle, right? A lot of people say it's like, no, you should surround yourself with where you want to be.
Yeah.
But I never forget my roots. Right. So friends not only provide you with a different perspective, which people forget, but they also provide you with some grounding. Because a lot of times we get too high on our heads and we forget our past as well as our struggle. It's a good reminder to be like, damn, this is where I come from.
Mm-hmm.
But to be a friend is also important. People just want to be okay. Let's be friends. But what can you do to that person or help that person in the manner that is gonna change their life? You know what I mean? So that saying for me, I don't agree with that saying personally.
That was good. Good thing that you said. But let's bring it back slightly to the first thing you said, boundaries. Because I think a lot of people don't understand that you need to have boundaries with anybody that you're doing in your life, not just your friends, but friends are a big one that you need to have boundaries. So what are some boundaries that you would tell people to have? Or you can give them what if somebody doesn't have any boundaries, they don't know where to start? What are some key boundaries that they can even set themselves up for it to be like, okay, if you do this, I don't like this. I don't like this. I like this. I like this.
One of my biggest one is communication. So if you're a friend of mine and we make plans, and for some reason the plans cannot go through, communicate. Oh, hey, won't be able to make it. Things change, cancel. I'm very understanding when it comes to that because life happens.
Yep.
What I don't like and something I don't respect and something that is a pretty much cut off, which I have limitations, right? I'm very patient.
Yeah.
But to a point, you also have to understand it's like, okay, maybe this person is not giving the same respect when it comes to attention towards it. So that is one thing to begin is understanding, hey, if you're on your phone constantly when we're together as friends, and for some reason when I message you, it doesn't go through, right? In my head, I'm saying, okay, I'm not important to you enough to at least get a response
Mhm.
within a respectable amount of time. Again, life happens, but if it goes like weeks and then all of a sudden it's like come back, it's like then I have an issue with that personally.
Mhm. Nice. I think one of my biggest boundaries that I have with in the friend space is, like you said, doing what you say you're gonna do. Right. So if you tell me you're gonna do something, just do it. If you can't do it, just let me know you can't do it.
Mhm.
But don't tell me you're gonna do something and not be able to do it because I didn't ask you to do it. I've never asked anyone to do anything when it comes to friends. So if you tell me, if you say, "Hey, I'm gonna do this," and I said, "Oh, you didn't have to," but no, I'm gonna do it, and then you don't do it, it's like, okay, now you got my hopes up for what? So a big boundary is don't tell me something and say you're gonna do something and don't do it. Um, how does that differ from your family though? What is the line between your friends and family? Because at some point you grow with somebody as a childhood friend, they're like family. You know what I'm saying? So do you treat them the same? Do you treat them differently? How do you deal with a balance of family? How do you maintain that relationship?
So family is and you can identify somebody who you grew up with as family
Yep.
because family is not just limited to internal or bloodline, but as well as a definition within the mind. It's a mindset.
Hmm.
Hey, you're my brother, no matter what happens. So what I distinguish between friends and what I consider family is a friend. As we grow older, people change. We talked about that.
Yep. Automatically.
Um, their change might not be in agreement with you, and you can fall apart. Distance, right? You go your way, your route, good or bad. It's just you grow apart. Family, no matter what, when you're family with somebody, as you grow back, if they come back in your life, it's like they never left.
Mm.
Whereas a friend, depending on how that relationship ended, there are circumstances because as we grow, we start to understand: is it worth it? Has the person changed? So you do more of an analysis to accept that person into your life. Whereas family is more of, even if I don't agree with you as a family, like we might not be the best buddies, I still accept you within my life.
You know what one of the biggest hardest or the hardest pills to swallow is? It's not that I've outgrown you. It's that I'm the person looking from my perspective. Oh, you've outgrown me, but I don't want to let you go. Like you supposed to be that person I grew up with. But you going out to do better, bigger, and better things, and I can accept that. So now I'm like, okay, this person doesn't want, like you said, this person doesn't want to talk to me. How does someone go through that? Because you got a lot of people that grow from the age of 16 to 22. That to me, that's the big jump difference in saying maturity. We start hitting maturity, or we start going to the military, or we start going to college, or we start doing this. I go find a new group of friends. I find a new career. But I'm the one at home still. You're supposed to be my person.
That's the perspective and point of view. So this is great because if you travel, if you grew up in a small town
Mm-hmm.
and you are the one who left the town,
Mm-hmm.
and you go back, a lot of times the town seems like it stayed the same. Like nothing changes.
Yep.
Oh yeah, hey, so and so is still together from high school and they got married and they got a bunch of kids.
Yep.
Um, people are doing the same jobs, and what you do if you're close to somebody within that town or within that city that feels like time has paused, it just people got older.
Yeah.
Um, the way to bring them in back into your life and show them that you still care for them is show them your perspective and what you have learned and gained by living. Oh man, let me tell you about this location that I've seen and this type of food I've tried. It is amazing. You will love this. Because now you're bringing them with the excitement of you can also do this, right? It's not, you don't do it in a sense of malice where you're showing off, where you're like, oh, I've been everywhere, right? What you're doing is like, look, I've explored and I want to share this greatness
Mm.
of locations and experiences that I've gained because of this, and I want you to be part of it, right? Because sometimes the other person might need that motivational speech
You're right.
to go and be like, you know what, I want to try that, because they might not have ever thought of, well, let me get out of the town. A lot of people do not think that way.
How's the person supposed to feel back home though? The person that doesn't get out of town, like, because all I'm saying is, you was my brother, you was my best friend,
And you left me.
and you left me. You went and grown, but you left me, and I'm sitting here waiting for you to come back because, and then when you come back, you're different. How am I supposed to cope with myself?
But that's with a conversation. So if you have that conversation, if you're the one back home, the person who comes back and has that conversation, it should be an invitation conversation, stating like, "Hey, man, I went out. I lived in different locations.
Yep.
I've experienced. I want you to come experience that with me." That's how. So if you're sitting back home and you're like, "Damn, this person lived," see it. Don't think of it as that person left me.
Yeah.
Think of it of like, okay, he went and tested out for me. Now it's my turn, and go with them.
Or just ask them. Ask them. Say,
Yeah.
hey, what do you think? Let's use a person because military is big where I'm from. So, in my opinion, if I left somebody or somebody left me, I would say, hey, brother, you like the military? You like? Because I'm ready. I can't do what I'm doing. I see that you're living a better life. I see that you're doing this. I know that's not my end goal, but do you think that I could sustain it for 4 to 6 years? But people don't want to ask those questions because they feel embarrassed. Because hey, you're supposed to be doing good. This life is not supposed to be
Well,
everything, right?
yeah. Well, doing good is to the beholder, just like success is. Success is defined by the beholder.
You're right, because you can't tell me success could be from the smallest to the what
Correct.
I got $2.
Some people define success as monetary value. I personally don't. Somebody could be, I'm successful. Okay, why are you successful? I got a family. I do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Oh, I never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
And they're happy as hell. You know what? Other people is like, man, you gotta grind. It's like that's not their definition.
Exactly.
So
that is a good point. That is
what you can do though, if you're the one that's left behind, one thing you can ask, just like you said, hey, how do I get there? Okay, maybe that person will give you a perspective like, you know what? If you're in the States, you have one of the greatest thing available to you, and you can get a passport. It costs $120, maybe $180, depending if you get the passport card. Or you need your birth certificate, fill out a form, take a picture, put it in the mail, and you get it. Other countries is very difficult. The United States have the ability that you don't need visas. You just buy the ticket and go.
Okay.
So it's something that you can save up to, and then be like, that person that comes back to the town, be like, what locations do you recommend? Now you have a source of, first-hand knowledge, word of mouth person that you can ask those questions. Be like, I thought of going here. What do you think? So don't think as you being left behind. Think as, okay, that person have experience. Now they're your encyclopedia, your insight.
Well, then we go to the next portion of it is, right, we talk about being with family, being with friends. What type of things are we sacrificing? When it comes to sacrificing, are we sacrificing than ourselves? Are we sacrificing the relationship? Like you said, just like success, it's levels. It's levels to this sacrifice thing because, for instance, when it comes to family, automatically your parents, your cousins, the bigger cousins, the older cousins, the other aunties, they know you as little such and such. My baby this, my baby that. You go away for 6 years and you get your own identity, you start having your own family. Hey, I'm not the baby no more. I'm grown. I don't do the same thing. I don't come out and drink because I have a child. I don't come out and do this because I have priorities that I have to take care of. I can't be out here doing the same thing that you guys are doing. So what do people sacrifice, and how do they actually? What are they supposed to do to deal with these sacrifices?
So, that's a great point. So you brought up the point where if you leave and you leave your family and then you come back, what happens is whenever you do that, let's say you get a job that's in a different state, and all of a sudden they don't see you go throughout the years.
Yeah.
What happens is they're still reminding or using the memories from when they last saw you or had an experience with you.
Yeah.
So they didn't see the change from here to where you are now. And it's not their fault if they say, "Oh man, but you're always gonna be my kid," or,
Yeah.
or that young. It's like, listen, I'm a grown adult, and sometimes it's cute, but sometimes we get a little bit defensive because it's like, look, I'm a grown man.
Yep.
But it's not their fault, and you can't blame them for it because the last time they saw you, this is who you were, right? And as we change, we don't know who we're gonna become.
Nope, not at all. You're still growing, still learning.
You're changing, you're growing. So that's a great point that you brought up. What you do with the sacrifices is with family. The difference between the family and friend when it comes to sacrifices is the most important currency that I consider to be the most valuable one. Time.
Mm.
When you're with your friends and you have a good relationship with your friends, your sacrifice of time with them does not seem to be a waste. When it starts to hinder is when you start questioning, hey man, let's do something, and then that something does not equate to something productive or something that you don't consider to be valuable. Then that's when the time starts sipping and saying, okay, now I'm wasting it.
Yep.
And that's when you start growing apart. That's the sacrifices where you're like, I'm not longer sacrificing my time for this person. The difference with family is because you have the mentality that that's family, that sacrifice of time they will always have pretty much currency for that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas a friend, once they run out, it's very difficult to get that currency back.
Yeah.
Right? That the family always gonna have a reserve. Unfortunately, that's how it works. Or fortunately,
Yeah.
because sometimes you're gonna be like, man, I need a break.
Yeah.
But the currency of time, when it comes to the sacrifice, is the most vital between distinguishing who is family and who is a friend.
And let me put this into perspective for you guys, because you might be saying, well, why do I need to know these certain things? It's because if one person can understand, that changes the whole dynamic of anything. Now, if you got two people that don't understand, that's the most negative that you can be. If you have one person that understands, you're probably going to be in a positive just slightly. And the best situation is having two people that understand. But if I can understand and I can understand why they act that way and why I act this way, I'm more likely to say, okay, for this period of time, I know why they're acting this way. I know how to communicate with them. I know how to talk to them. Just how we talked about in our last episode. Go check it out if you haven't checked it out. But that's how you talk to these people. You talk to your friends and your family, and you go through that. So when it comes down to saying it can't be me because I've grown. They haven't grown. I got to take accountability at some point, though. Do I take accountability when it comes to my friends and family, or do I say, this is just me now, this is my new dynamic, this is my new person, I gotta let y'all be y'all, and if y'all don't accept it, I'm gonna keep it moving?
What I do is people grow within different times and different phases within life, and we don't know what that person's going through at that moment in time. So I don't completely cut anyone.
Okay.
What I do is I say, okay, for this time being, they're going through some things that I cannot help because they don't want my help or they're distanced themselves. Maybe they just need a little bit more time, and when they come back ready, they're with open arms.
Fire. That makes sense.
That's for friends and family. The difference with the friends though is if it's something that the relationship ended in a negative term where both lines were like, okay, I no longer feel like they wouldn't meet eye to eye. Mm-hmm. This is just then it takes a little bit more time to say, okay, embrace fully.
Yeah,
I will embrace, but that the hands ain't going around. It's just from it.
Nah, for real.
When somebody hugs you and they do the little tap in the back.
Yeah,
and that's the thing. But normally when I hug people, we're going wait. Mm-hmm. But family is different because family you come here and you're like. Even though there's some family members that would test you.
All the real. And that's people in general.
Yeah.
I feel like family, when it comes to family, friends, your partner, I feel like it's all just your level of patience. Your level of patience. You say, all right, who do I want to go through today? What are we going to tolerate? But you got to set those boundaries. Your boundaries for your partner is not going to be the same boundaries that you have for your friends, and like the same boundary that you have for your family, because it can't be.
Mm-mm.
If everybody's boundaries are the same, then something's wrong.
Yeah.
He said, I'm not playing with nobody today. He said, I wish somebody, one person.
What he's saying is, you all look the same to
Yeah.
me.
He said, I'm smelling blood. He said, one person disrespect me today. Going there. He said, okay. He said, oh, mama, okay.
Oh, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. So,
Well, that brings us to the next thing, which is like looking within oneself.
Yeah.
When creating those and identifying which boundaries with which person is gonna be established, right? So for you, like, what is something that you look forward to, or you look that helps you look within yourself when it comes to identifying those things between family and friends?
So I'm very, very self-aware. So I really work on that. Like that's something that I practice on doing is learning myself to the T to know that, oh, I'm not gonna like that, so I'm not gonna put myself in that situation. And they could tell me all day, no, you could do this. I'm gonna tell you I'm not gonna do it. Not because I don't want to do it. It's because I know how I'm gonna react to it. I've just known myself and I learned myself in those situations. Now, can I do it for somebody and say, okay, I gotta bite the bullet this time? I can.
But at that point, you're sacrificing.
I am sacrificing.
So you, when you look into yourself and you identify a circle, and then within the circle you identify a person, you also set yourself of how much sacrifice you're willing to give a person, huh?
Yeah, but you can't be naive because you can't say certain things are meant for you to grow because they make you uncomfortable. And you gotta learn they're both different. It ain't because I just don't want to do it because I'm uncomfortable. No, I know that now if it's something that I just haven't done yet or it's gonna make me uncomfortable, that's not an excuse for me. But if it's something that I've done time and time, if you asking me to cook on the grill on on high heat and I got stuff to do, I'm not gonna do it because guess what? I know that it's not gonna make it. I can't. It's just something I don't want to do. But if you say, "Hey, have you ever done it?" Or I need you to go take this. I need you to go do this. I need you to go do this. Then that's work. Anything. Then I said, "Oh, I've never done that." Now, then I come to the decision of, am I sacrificing, or am I not doing it because I don't know how to do it? It's a good growth opportunity. So I think that a lot of people got to understand. I've learned myself. You still have to understand that certain things are thrown out there for you to grow. And I'll take those opportunities when it's time for me to grow. But if it's some shit I did before, 8,000 times, no, it ain't happening. It ain't happening.
My boy said, I've been there.
It ain't happening. And that's just me. That's just me personally. But I think that between both of us, I think we looked at the point of we do look at ourselves from a third perspective. We step out, and even if we make a mistake, we'll take a step back and we'll say, okay, cool. Could I approach that differently? Could I have not? I think that I know I do it, and I'm sure that you'll probably do it. You know, you'll come home and something doesn't sit right with you, it'll bother you to the point you say, okay, could I have done this differently? Because we're not in it to make people feel bad.
Yeah.
We're not in it to hurt people. Now, if you stand on something because you felt that way, no need to apologize, but the way we went about it could be changed. And what do you think about that?
No, that's 100% correct. Like that's what is the definition of maturity. It's understanding when we have messed up or when we need to look and say, maybe I wasn't tactful enough within that situation and I could have done better.
Yeah.
And then you say, hey, I could have done better.
And it's okay to
ain't nobody perfect, man. I haven't met one perfect person yet.
It's okay to step back and apologize and look at it and look at the situation. You don't have to have that much pride because that pride it'll break relationships. That one apology could build or break that relationship.
100%.
If you apologize, I'm not saying you got to apologize to everything, but if you take your pride out of it and you apologize, y'all going to be so much stronger if that person is on the same type of time that you are, they accepting and stuff like that, then you just going 6 months and just trying to let it die down. And he said, hey, how you doing? He's like, no. I don't want to talk no more.
You do one of this look back. Who you talking to?
So, but I think that's where I'm at with it. Anything else for the family and friends before we wrap this episode up?
No, just remember, when dealing with this relationship between the family and friends, understand that the family seeing you grow. A lot of families seeing you in your worst.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing you in your best. Um, some family members show no love to you, but maybe that's when they need you most.
Yeah. You never know.
So treat them in a sense, or try to understand them as a person, and separate the action from that individual. I think that goes a long way, because a lot of times we might not know what words to say, but at least saying something is better than not saying anything at all.
That is correct. That is.
And then
correct.
friends, if friends do not understand your boundaries clearly, and because you don't want to hurt feelings, write it down. Maybe it's something that verbally is hard for you because you might get emotional. Maybe they can read it and then have it sit down. Don't just completely cut someone off without explaining to them why you're cutting them off. I think that's one of the worst things that people do nowadays, where it's like, oh, it's something that could have been fixed easily. Because again, communication.
Yeah, and this is.
Oh, that's how you felt. Oh yes, that's how you felt. Oh man, I'm sorry you felt that way. Let me fix it.
Yeah. This is our relationship. This is our relationship topics, and we can get into communication topics. They look for that to come soon. We're going to give you different details of communication and how we communicate with each other, because, like I said, that's the big part. A lot of people don't know how to communicate, so we'll give you our tips of communication and things like that. But I think that wraps up episode 2 of our relationship journey. We have one more episode, which is going to be episode 3, and it's going to be business and work relationships. So I know you guys are going to be looking forward to that, because I know you guys have a lot of people at work that you guys do not like, that you can't talk to. So be looking forward to that one, and we're out.
See,
Next time.